Hello, 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 and welcome to another One Lion of Code. I am One Lion, and today is Wednesday. It is the middle of the work week for a lot of us. Or I don't know about a lot of us. For some of us, and for others, it's just another day. And for others, it's even a weekend. Anyway, whatever time it happens to be for you, welcome in. Welcome to the stream. I'm One Lion. And on this stream, we have been working on doing UI design and UX stuff. And we're going to continue with that today. I don't even have anything open. And I need to pause this. Timer, pause. Cool. TBD Gamer came in first and said first and lurk because he's probably doing his stand-up. And yeah, I am trying to open Figma with my massive brain powers, controlling my computer with my brain. One day, maybe I'll get Neuralink installed. Like it's an accessory that you install into your personal computer, aka your brain. Well, why aren't you loading, Figma? Hello, Figma. Open says I. Okay, you guys saw that big flash? That was Figma opening, so we can get more done. And I think we are ready, so let's head over to the desktop. Okay, so this is where we left off on Monday. This redesign is for a project we put together in past streams called the Financial Management Tracker, which you can check out on my GitHub as soon as I get my bot reconnected so you can see the link. Excuse me. Such a janky little bot. One day I'll improve it. Don't ask me when, though. No guarantees. I wonder what would happen if we made this background diagonal thingy semi-transparent. It might look better on the light mode background. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, we are connected, so here is the GitHub page for the project. And what happened was we put the project together as a predominantly functionality developer, not like functional programming or anything, just someone that really likes to do the logic and writing the core functionality of an application, because that's what I like to do. And we did a really quick run through of what the UI could look like, threw it together, and then spent a lot of time writing the functionality and making it do what we wanted it to do. So now we are acting as if the client that this was for is coming to us, which is not the same person that developed the application, to do UI redesign mockups and stuff, so that another developer that is into UI implementations can take the design that we make and then put a new face on the application. What's up with my throat? But in order to do that, we actually have to have designs. So as much as I like to roleplay and say that I am an expert developer in this area, or not developer, designer, I have no idea what I'm doing. And so I'm trying to do things in a thoughtful, mindful way, but I think I'm failing. I'm learning at the same time as what I meant to say. Let's see. Let's turn this to like 60. Ew, that's disgusting. 80. Nope. 80. It's still terrible. Yeah, so I don't think doing a transparency on the background is going to fix this mess. So instead, I need to do something else to make it more appealing in light mode. Okay, we'll figure that out after we implement the dark mode. What I said we would do today, though, is come up with the actual graphic that will be on the right side. Previously, I started doing the redesign and I was just throwing stuff around. You can see how messy this page is. I'm using the free version of Figma, so I only have 3 pages per design file. And I've already used up 2, and I was trying to be sparing about it, but still didn't end up being very organized. So I, as part of going full-time self-employed, I purchased Figma paid version. And I'm like, well, since I have it, why not go ahead and move the design stuff over into an official Figma design document and yeah, be able to make use of the multiple pages, be able to make use of the different color modes, where now I have a light and dark color mode, as opposed to the approach I was taking, which was to have a whole bunch of variables in groups, and then have one group be the dark theme group and the other group be the light theme group, or whatever other color theme I could come up with. And that made it difficult because for every single component, I needed to make a light theme and a dark theme and have them point to the correct variables, as opposed to creating one design and having them all point to just one variable. So like, for example, the background color on the actual landing page design is primary background. But as you can see, primary background here is dark. It's not the light color that I have specified right here. And that's because I have told this entire component, or this entire, component, to use, well, default at the moment, but dark. But if I wanted to, I could do all of these designs in light mode simply by toggling that to use the light color mode, which I don't want. Okay, so that's all the magic there. Let's get started. So the graphic on the right here, I should already have a container for it. Here on the left, header on the top. I don't. Great. So here is my... Oh, wait, yes I do. The hero is this entire section here. And then inside of the hero is where I have a content left, content right. Okay, my bag. So content left is going to... Actually, contents is going to have auto layout, which it does. So I really don't like that if you have phone link set up and your phone rings, it blocks out all of the sound that's playing through your computer until the ringing is done. Is there a way that I can turn that off? Calls. Allow phone link to make and manage calls on my mobile device. I don't mind that. It's the ringing that I mind. It's probably in this notifications section. I don't know. I'll have to look at that later. I was hoping it would be really quick so I can turn that off. But whatever. Moving on. So I do actually have the contents. I need the hero section to be... I keep doing that. It's like, I think this is the entire hero section area, but this is the entire hero section area. And I want you to fill. Okay, so the hero section area will fill its container, which is what I want. And the container here is contents. And that way, if I change the size of contents, then everything changes, including the header, body, etc. And then the hero itself is going to be auto layout. Auto layout. I can't add auto layout to hero. Is it because hero is a... Aha! Hero is a component up here, and I'm styling it by itself up here. But here is a component, and this is the thing that would get auto layout. The space between the elements is going to be auto, such that the content on the left will take up however much space it takes up, and the content on the right will take up however much space it takes up, but be stuck to the right side. And then it's pretty much display flex with space between, for those of you that know CSS. Okay, so you're going to be fixed width, you're going to be fixed height. You're going to be fill container. And then your content is going to be centered. Center. Actually, center left. Cool. And that way, when the content stretches and grows, then it stays in the center of the center of the center. Good. What is this? Are you just me showing... What? Why are you out there? Was I going to turn you into a component? You're just going to stay quiet for now. Go away. Shoo. All right. So stuff on the right. Stuff on the right will be what we're looking for. So I need something interesting that is representative of this application. I was wanting it to be inspired by this type of thing where I'm showing some of the application's functionality. Yeah, it's really hard to come up with. So as you can see, I'm already being inspired by this with this gradient from left to right. Add a diagonal. But it would be cool to have screenshots of the application itself. But since I don't have that, it might be more appropriate to have... No, it doesn't make sense to be anything but the application itself. Man, how am I going to do that without a page? I'm going to steal... So I say the actual content, and now here I go using placeholder content. I'm going to steal this mockup here. And this is going to be... Oh, it will be the actual content for the most part. Yeah. Oh, this is going to be good. This will work. We'll create a new page called data entry pages. I'll pop this in here, create a component out of it. And what we'll do is we will use this as our actual payment entry page for the design, which means that as I change the component here, my usage of it, which is, as you guessed it, going to be here, will also get updated. So content right. Inside of content right will be the payment entry page. Yes. Okay, good. Lock to the right. And then we'll do some processing on the component itself to make it look cool. Doubtful it's going to look cool, but you know what I mean. All right, what kind of processing can we do to this to make it work? I'm going to go ahead and make this thing smaller. Something more representative of the typical size, which is going to be 1920 by 1080 probably. All right. Oh no. You need to be fill container, and you need to be center. Did I make content left? I did. Okay, so content right also needs to be auto layout, and that way I can center it vertically. And right aligned. Good. No padding top and bottom. Speaking of, do you have padding top and bottom? No, okay. So no padding top and bottom. We definitely need the hero section itself at the moment to be fixed height and fixed width, because if I change it to hug contents, everything goes squish. I don't want it to squish. I want it to keep this gap above and below for now. Okay, so where are we? For this thingy here, I would like to has overflow allowed. So overflow visible. Because when I add a frame to this, I want any effects that I put on it to be able to bleed over. And I still have no idea what I'm doing, obviously. Was I ever able to get this thing to do a fade? I don't think so. I think this is just an overall opacity. No, I did. So I put a linear gradient that has opacity as the mask for this. And so it's a linear gradient from white to black. White is everything that you want filtered out. So that would be an opacity of 0, right? And then black would be the things that you want painted, which would be an opacity of 100, or of 1, sorry. Yeah, so the closer to the bottom it is, the more opaque it is. So we're going to do the opposite over here, where the closer to the bottom it is, the more transparent. And let me just... I'm thinking about this thing, and I usually think something like this would look good, but then it just ends up looking terrible. But, I mean, what's the damage in trying? Nothing. That's what the damage is. So we're going to create a rectangle. The rectangle is going to be, let's say, this big. Oh, right. But we have to create it inside of here so that it stays in the container. And we're going to have the fill be, as before, a gradient, but this time instead of white to black, we'll do black to white. Actually, was it black to white, or was it black to black with 0? Yeah, I bet you it was this. With the first color stop. Oh, I guess that is the top of the rectangle, with the first color stop being there. Then we will use this as a mask. Oh, I guess I need to get out of this. How do I apply? Just apply. Okay, so use this as a mask. And why aren't you doing transparency? Because it is black to white. Like I said, the white color is the thing that says don't paint this area. The black color is the thing that says do paint this area. And so we need it to be fully opaque and have a color fully white. Why didn't it update immediately? Oh my goodness, what am I doing wrong? Am I supposed to put it on as a mask at the same level as the frame? Oh, I can't do that. Or we can if we make it absolute, but then it won't move with all the things I want it to move. And why is it masking everything below it instead of above it? Okay, this isn't doing what I thought it was gonna do. Okay, we have a rectangle with a linear gradient from black to white. No, it is, what? Black to black from 100% to 0% opacity. So let's fix that real quick. Let's put you back to black to black. Hello, Zaid. How are you doing on this fantastic Wednesday? How is work going? How is all the fun stuff? Please say it's fun at least. If it's not fun, that's okay. You're allowed to not have fun. I will allow it, but only this once. Okay, and then what are you the mask for? The entire hero section, which is fine. It can be any element, right? And that's what's causing the transparency to happen. See it working. So why isn't it working here? Sinfire asks, which tool is this? This is Figma, and I've downloaded the desktop version, but it works just as well in the browser. I just find it easier to manage my tabs better when it's in its own standalone application. Zaid says, I'm doing great. Yeah, things in my new position are getting better now that I'm learning more about the project. It gets better after every PR. Yay! That is really good to hear. I hope the last developer didn't leave you a massive mess, and things are pretty easy to maintain. And also, Sinfire, I am still learning the tool, and I am learning about UI and UX design. I am by nature, by birth, someone that really likes to make things work and do functionality programming for the most part. So doing aesthetic design and coming up with pleasing, not even effects. What's the word I'm looking for? Just things that look good to other people. It looks much better than Paint or Photoshop. The other tool that you might use for doing design like this would be something like Adobe Illustrator or some other vector graphics type of application. There is another Adobe product specifically for doing user interface design work, and it's called something. Creative Cloud. I think this is called UX. Adobe, you should quit at all of this because you're no good. It's terrible. Don't say that to yourself. Looking. Illustrator, Acrobat, InDesign. Adobe InDesign. I really wouldn't have remembered that. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we found it. But yeah, so hopefully I am able to communicate the things that I'm learning as I go. I'm watching a ton of YouTube videos when I'm trying to figure out how to do a thing. Like here, I'm trying to cause the bottom of this this thing underneath it wait, that's actually on top of it. But anyway, this thing here to be transparent towards the bottom and opaque towards the top. And I'm using the same method or the same approach that I did here. I'm actually just going to copy this entire part here and just bring it with me. Put it next to us so I don't have to keep switching tabs. And it looks like it's really only affecting the hero, which is what I want it to do. So if I took this and just replaced my current rectangle with it, I would expect it to work in the same way that the other one is, but it's not. It's not doing anything at all. Why not? Is it because this is a component? Yeah, let's find out what happens if I detach this instance and collapse. So now these two look... Oh, except this is a group also. And then I'll convert this to a group instead of a frame. Interesting. Well, that's good though. That means all that I should have to do is put a group around this. And it works. Okay, so let's go back to the rectangle that I had before. And then group. And there it goes. Interesting. But why is the top cut off now? Because the mask would need to stretch the entire thing, otherwise it's not going to paint stuff that it's not covering. Don't mind me. Just being a little special. Where's the bottom of this group, please? Oh, interesting. I just happened to line it up. Unless that's the bottom of the group because that's the bottom of the rectangle. No, that was lined up. I guess I could also just check to see what the height is. 767. 767, yeah. All right then. Yatta. Finally. So I'm going to fix this breakpoint a little bit more because I don't want it to have so much of a fade out. Instead, I'm going to probably cut it somewhere around here. And we'll see what that looks like. Yeah, so notice that the lower I go, the less transparency appears at the bottom. Yeah, and I kind of really only want the transparency to be at the very, very bottom. Because what we would like to do is with this frame here, this is just that frame, right? I want to put, what do I want to put around it? Do I want to do it on the frame or do I want to do it on the content? Hello, Napalm. Happy Wednesday. Did you? Payment entry page preview. And then this is the app content demo or preview or something. So I want to put a stroke on this, I believe. Oh, good. I was like, I don't want to detach this from the main component because we're going to be making changes to the main component to make it look like the actual application or the redesign of the application, which is what we're working on. So it needs to stay connected so that it updates. So instead, we will put a stroke, and this stroke I want to be creative-ish with this stroke so that it looks appealing. It makes this thing pop, because right now it looks like this, which is not terrible, but I kind of want it to be inside of a... I don't know. It's really hard when it looks like this at the moment. Because I stopped being happy with this design a long time ago. So all I see is something that needs to be changed. Maybe if I gave it rounded corners. Oh, except that the rounded corners are not going to take effect on the group because I have overflow, or I have clip content turned off, which is overflow visible. So rounded corners isn't going to work. So what if I put the rounded corners on the component itself? That will work. Okay, so that does look somewhat better. That's a start. And yeah, I think we're going to fix this fade a little bit more so that we don't get this solid line across the bottom, which means that I'll want it to reach 100 somewhere around here. So let's do that first. You dare. Scoot you up just a hair. Scoot you left. Yeah, like that. Okay, how about now? Yeah, I like that better. And let's just be crazy with the stroke just to see what it would look like if I actually got it to do what I wanted to do. So the stroke should be applied to this probably. And that said, I'm going to get rid of the stroke here. Payment entry. I will also make you 6 so that you match, and put a stroke. And the stroke is going to be, let's just do like something big-ish with a, again, we're just going to be crazy with it for now, a diagonal-ish with our purple 1. The top left and the something bright, so it looks like purple 5. Okay, pull this up a little bit more. Why aren't you actually changing? Funny. Weird. Why is the, oh, because overflow visible. So if I clip content, we'll see it, which is not good because I need, do I need the image itself to be the thing that has the ability to have its own shadow? It kind of looks like I am specifically working on the frame. Yeah, the frame surrounding the content. So we're going to keep it with clip content, and we're going to put whatever shadows and stuff on the clip content. Interesting. Oh, hello, good VJ. Hope you're having a great day so far. And actually, now that I'm looking at that, I kind of want an extra color stop in here. And I want this one to be the brightest purple that we have. Give it more of this neon feel. Then we will change the angle a bit. All right. What exactly does that look like? And if I flipped it the other way, and I rotate you somehow by holding a button? No, I just gotta swap sides. And then swap these two. Swap these two. Just testing things out. And I kind of do want a bigger corner radius. I am learning Figma, is what you meant to say. Thank you for the compliment, but still trying to get things figured out. Oh, and this is why I wanted to put the border on this thing instead. I think. Because I kind of want the bottom to fade out as well. Is that something that I want? I don't know. Does this even look appealing? Like if you came to this landing page, let's go ahead and put the landing page content on this screen. And hero. Excuse me. Oh, right. This is what I'm trying to move. You will go here. I will throw you, okay? You will go here. Ooh. Okay, and then the contents for this page at this height is going to have a left and right padding, probably somewhere around here. Raisin Cereals is here. Foolish Snobble is here. Okay, so Foolish Snobble said hello in that. And I said hello in this. I never want to make another API, which why I like Blazor server. Interesting, because you could still have an API with Blazor server, kinda. Like you could make Blazor server with controllers still, which is kind of like having an API. But anyway, I understand what you mean. You can access the server resources directly in your Blazor code or in your direct services, and you don't have to worry about having a controller that receives requests and you do stuff with. It's so good in my honest opinion. Cool. But Raisin Bran Cereals, hello. First Good VJ said, as a dev, I like doing coding and stuff, making APIs, adding API, I like facing challenges, but I really hate working with HTML and CSS stuff. And then Raisin Bran Cereals said, same, I like working with the back end of websites, but can't stand front end with HTML and CSS. So here's the funny thing that happened. When I left the position I used to be in, which was supporting the Rocky Mountain Arsenals, which is a place over there, their applications, I went to a consulting firm. And that consulting firm had me working on doing UI implementation. And UI implementation means someone else did the designs and I implemented those designs. And as I was doing it, I'm like, I really, really want to write functionality for this thing. I love writing functionality code, but because that was my primary, the thing that I got hired for, I committed to it completely, and I actually enjoyed it. I was like, this is kind of fun. Being able to see something, take it, and then turn it into an actual product type thing. It's much the same as having a thought about how you want this thing to behave, and you write the code, run into the challenges, overcome those challenges, and get it to work the way that you want. Doing the HTML and CSS, especially using Blazor, it was so much fun, and I loved it. And so now what I'm trying to do is get better at doing the UI design part so that I can, when I am working on applications, so that I can make decisions and actually do the UI implementation. And I found that I really enjoy working in Figma. And so it's kind of starting to sound like I really enjoy front-end work. Good VJ says, as of my opinion, SPA technology not work very well on large-scale applications, in which we might need multi-threading and security things, which means it could get better because HTTP 2 is going to have multi-threading capabilities, especially for WASM apps. Not is going to, I think it already does. But for large-scale applications, if you're thinking about SPA technology, as long as like your user interactivity part of it is not super duper heavy, like you're not trying to run Doom, even though you can, using just HTML and CSS, it should be fine. You don't have to really worry about it with Blazor WebAssembly because you're unloading everything to the client. So it's pretty much the same as if you ship them the index.html and ran JavaScript on it. And it's all on the client to have the resources to be able to do whatever processing stuff for the UI interactions that you need it to do. If you're doing Blazor server, that's a different story. Okay, but this is what I wanted to see. Does this look weird? It does look pretty weird. What is it about it that I don't like? Is it too thick of a border? No, that's too small. So imagine this. You come to this page, and I still don't know all of the quick keys, but there is a key for me to be able to hide the UI, control backslash. Okay, so control backslash. You land on this page, and this is what you get on screen inside of your browser. Is it appealing? Do your eyes go to the right place, which is the information on the left and the call to action button? Something just feels weird about it. Nice shot. Internal server error? What? What? Raisin Brand says, I was the same way with databases. I hated it in school, but now I enjoy searching databases and implementing them into things. I focused on database design at university, and I absolutely love doing database design. But my favoriteest thing to do is write the functionality for applications like you guys are talking about. Hello, Dukasoft. Hope you're having a great day. To be honest, I didn't notice the get started button. Dang. So was it because the too much text? Was it because of the graphic that I'm using? Database as work is awesome, but as a college subject, it sucks. Yeah. Tuple calculus, anyone? That. What was I gonna do? I was going to somebody. Oh, bot. Excuse me, Signori LLM. Oh, you know what? I went to the LLM. I'm using Ubabooga's text gen web UI, and I loaded the page, but I never went to the model tab and loaded the model. Too small contrast versus big. Well, how do I get this thing in like full screen? Is there a way to do that? Can I push F11? F11? I mean, kind of. Now I don't know which one is full screen and which one isn't. Okay, so it's got to be currently in full screen. That's the other thing that I don't know how to do yet, which is how do I preview this at scale? Oops. So I think maybe one thing to do is zoom to 100%, which looks like this. Hide the UI. Okay, so this would be 100% right here. On a 1920 by 1080 screen. Unless you're talking about the get started in the top right, in which case that's just supposed to be there. But definitely the color of the button doesn't stick out from this diagonal. Maybe. Yeah, I don't really want to mess with the buttons too much, but maybe it does need an outline or a border, not outline, because it will always have an outline when you hover. GoodVJ says, the previous company I worked in, a project with Redis and a project with Cassandra and SQL combined. Those are technologies I haven't really used. Other than SQL, of course. So let's see, where are my buttons? My buttons are here. So if I gave my buttons, Control A, good. If I gave my buttons a stroke, then that would be terrible. I would feel really, really bad. But they do have a stroke. Do all of them? No, these don't. Some of them do, some of them do not. All right, I'm just gonna do it here in line because I don't want to mess with the component too much since I'm not committed to it. But we could do a stroke that matches. Oh, which I guess we can do by hello? What did I put the stroke on? On this. We could do by somehow copying the properties. I don't know what all properties are going to paste when I do this, though. Nope. I mean, I did get the stroke, but I also got the background, the sizing. Yeah. I don't like that. Okay, we'll add it ourselves in. Whatever. I kind of remember that I am using a gradient with color stops of this, this, and this. Yep, exactly that. With the 3 colors of purple 1, purple 5, and purple 6. And what? Which isn't going to work because the purples on the background are darker than the dark color. Or not darker, you know what I mean. Are about the same color as the dark color. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so many messages. What even are these words? All right, well, I don't like the dark purple is what I mean to say. So let's get rid of this color stop, move you all the way to the left. I still want you at an angle though. Can you do that for me? Okay. I keep doing that. What's the zoom to 100% keyboard shortcut? Control 0, which is not easy to do with one hand. I need to start making macros for this. It's so weird because the left side looks thinner than the right side. I don't really know what's causing that. And if we flip the gradient over, yeah, so the light side seems thicker than the dark side. Hello, hello. I mean, it does kind of give it some more attention. Here we go. Or Figma. I really do want to start implementing these designs. I'm almost done with the hero section of the landing page, which is part 1 of 3, part 1 of 4. So hero section, well, I guess the header counts as another one, so 5. Hero section. Then the 2 information sections and the footer and the header. So that's 5. So we're done with the header. We're almost done with the hero section. It kind of looks like I have a bigger gap in my original redesign, so maybe that will also help out with being able to see the get started button. Which framework did I use to build the front end? So as far as frameworks are concerned, are you talking UI framework like CSS type of UI framework, or are you talking about development framework like React, Angular, Blazor, etc.? If it's the latter, I used Blazor. If it's the former, I didn't use any particular, what's it called? CSS library. Dang, Dukesoft with the auto ban. Super quick on the draw. Okay. I don't know what's going on with the content left. Why aren't you giving me... Because content left is the full height, right? Here's maybe what I'm really wanting to do is I want to push some button that I have no idea what I pushed. I want to group these together. Did that not work? You, and you group. Why aren't you grouping? Because I'm in the wrong spot. You can't modify an instance, and that's why it wasn't giving me the gap in between items. So maybe we can still use this with the gap in between items. And I'm going to set this gap to something bigger, like 32. And now it still looks obscured-ish. I don't like how far away those two are. Excuse me. So it kind of feels like I need only the button to be further away. Is that possible in auto layout to have two different gap distances between elements? The answer is yes. If I group these two, auto layout, keep their gap at around 1 character, 1 font height. And this will be the text content. This is the get started button. Have you worked with WebRTC? I've heard of it. I have not worked with it. But yes, I have used WebAssembly, but that's not necessarily the case for all of my Blazor applications. The way that I structure my Blazor applications, in fact, I have my work product open. Go figure. So you can see that even from the beginning, when I started with, actually when I migrated everything to Blazor in .NET 5, I decided to use both client and server. Sorry, not client and server. Blazor WebAssembly and Blazor server flavors, models, whatever you want to call them, in the same solution. So here I have the Blazor WebAssembly version and the Blazor server version with one shared user interface for both, and then a whole bunch of shared services for both as well. So I'm writing the code once, and I'm able to deploy the app as either Blazor Server or Blazor WebAssembly. This project, the one that we're doing on stream, I went a little bit further, and I don't have it open, so I'm going to the GitHub page. And instead of just having Blazor WebAssembly and Blazor Server, so here's Blazor Server, here's Blazor WebAssembly with the client and API backend, I also have a WPF version of the app, a Maui version, and isn't there one more? There's a UWP, but I'm not counting that one because that doesn't really do anything. So yeah, I'll just say WPF and Maui. But again, they're all using the exact same Blazor UI project. Yeah, WinUI. As well as the same backend logic. So I'm really writing one app, but able to target all of the platforms you could run it on, from desktop to mobile to web to TV. I'm learning React.js for front end and C# with REST API for backend. Is this a good idea? It's up to you if it's a good idea. If you find that actually there are so many considerations to make, it's hard for me to just say a thing. My recommendation is that you determine why you're trying to learn to program. And then based on that, where you're going to use your skills, what programming languages are used there. So as the easiest example I can probably come up with is you're learning to write code so that you can get a job in software development. And in your area or in the industry that you want to work in, they primarily use JavaScript frameworks and specifically React. Then yeah, learning React is a great idea. I will say if you're trying to learn it for general purpose, like trying to just know how to do programming, .NET really is a great approach. Blazor has a very, I'm going to say it this way, and I'm going to stand behind it, even though it's subjective and you can definitely argue that this is not the case. So this is my point of view. Blazor is great or it has a low barrier to entry. You install Visual Studio, choosing the web workload, do file new project, choose Blazor web app, you get your project structure. It might take a little bit of understanding for how the project structure is put together, but there isn't too much to it that is confusing as far as where to put your UI code and where to put your how you control things versus where all of your backend code goes. So take it with a grain of salt. Unless you really, really like it, then take it with a grain of sugar. But I think Blazor is just a super easy way to do web app, actually multi-platform application, to do UI. And hello there to you too, Emporium guy. But yes, Juan Van says, I don't have many views like that. I have a WPF app and a web app. They don't share UIs. Which is a choice. I mean, they could still share backend logic. One thing that might be better for me to do in the future is to create a different UI for Maui. But I think I heard, maybe it was Thindle talking about this, but there will be a way for you to use an element stub the same way in Blazor, the same way that you use it in Maui. Maybe I should open the financial management tracker application. Wrong Visual Studio. Give me this one. So what I mean by that is if you have a Maui project and you are using XAML to do your UI, you have these element stubs like buttons, for example. And what those stubs will do is you put a button wherever it is on the screen that you want, and it will render as the native control for the device that the application is running on. That was really loud. Oh dear. That was really loud. So that's not going to open. Oh, okay. It is now. Fine in, man. There was another statement that I didn't want to miss. Hallow says, I want to build huge servers that have good management of protocols and streaming. Cool. You absolutely can. Congratulations. I appreciate the VODs. Made me understand how devs think when working on a project. Oh, awesome. Well, I'm glad I got to help you see that. And just remember that right now, this is really only my point of view, so don't take it as the gospel truth for how every dev works. Yeah. I have some pretty different approaches at times, but I hope that I follow industry standard type stuff. Okay, where is Maui? Maui is here. Okay, so let's say that I have a, oh, thank you so much for the sub. Soft as in software. I forgot I can just open your stream while working. Been a while, as I did not think of that. No worries at all. I'm glad you're here now, and you never ever have to feel obligated to be here, but I definitely am glad to see you. I have been watching your streams at 5 o'clock in the morning my time, or 6? Anyway, when you have been streaming lately. If you guys don't know, Soft as in software, he is a developer that works on Office add-ins, and one of the things that he uses for that is Blazor. So he develops Office add-ins with Blazor UI stuff. It's crazy. And Dukasoft beat me to the shout out, but here is hopefully a clip of what you might see on his channel. Nope, no clips. No clips. That's fine though. Definitely check him out. Really cool guy. Very, very fun streams. Main page. Okay, so I've never actually used the component stubs, but I'm guessing you just put the component itself. And what will happen is when you run this on Android, for example, you'll get a button styled the way that Android styles their buttons. When you run it on Windows, you get a Windows button. When you run it on iOS, you get an iOS button. When you run it on Tizen, you get a Tizen button. In Blazor, what you get is a Blazor WebView component or control, and inside of that is where your Blazor content renders. So it's almost like a WebView control, where you can point it to a web address and it'll load the web content in there. But this actually has the Blazor rendering engine so that it's rendering the components from code into this container. And so you can still manipulate the contents easier than if you were using a regular WebView control, for example. And so what it sounds like is happening is there will be Blazor component stubs that will be for things like buttons and inputs and whatever else, so that it acts the way that that native device renders its controls, as opposed to just using how the web renders those controls, specifically a Chromium browser. But Soft and Software says, ha, 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 still does not feel right. I stream now before my work, but that is a bit early in the morning US time. Thinking of starting to work 2 hours early and do streaming after work again. So I don't know if you know my schedule, and it might work for you, but you do tend to stream for a really long time when you do stream, so I don't know if it'll work for you. But I start my workday at 4:30 a.m. I go until 7:30, do some exercise, come back to my computer at 8:30, work until 10:30, and then I stream for 2 hours, and then I work until 3:30. And then that's the end of my day, my workday. So I still get 8-hour workday in. I finish my workday at around 3:30, and then I have the rest of the day to do whatever. But yeah, so I stream in the middle as like an extended lunch break. But I mean, it's so weird saying that now because since you haven't been here for a while, and I don't really talk very much, chat very much, especially early in the morning when I am focused on, like, that's my most productive time. But I don't know if you know this, but I quit my job with Sagetti, and I'm now full-time self-employed for the next 6 months at least. So I pretty much can set my hours however I want. And yeah. Problem with that is if I don't actually do any work, then I don't get to bill for those hours. How am I earning money? By being self-employed. So I have the client, and so what essentially happens is when I'm at my computer, I turn on my timer that says I'm now working. Is it called? I don't know if it's considered freelancing. It is kind of freelancing, but freelancing to me has this more like someone says, I want this product. Can you please do it for me? You're like, yeah, here's how much I charge for it. You do the product and you're done. This one is more, I have a contract with the Rocky Mountain Arsenal, actually, specifically with Navarro, and they have a contract with the Rocky Mountain Arsenal. But anyway, I'm a subcontract and they are using my services to continue working on the applications that I worked on before and improve them and do bug fixes, new features, updating the applications. Because right now, as you can tell, this one specifically is in .NET 6. The majority of them are .NET 6 currently. And .NET 6 is no longer an RTS, I don't think. Microsoft. Did I say RTS? LTS? LTS. .NET 6. Yeah, no longer an LTS. Wait, that's the patch release date. It is no longer an LTS as of November of this year. I'm living in the future. So I want to either just change the version number to 7, at least as the initial thing, and see what breaks, fix the small things, because there are a lot of apps. I don't think I can do it here. Can I? No. Let's use this browser. Now I'm not talking in cohesive sentences. I apologize for that. I'll work on that. But this is our Azure DevOps organization. And this, so 1, I have to count this every time, no longer used. This is a extra service that we have, so I do maintain that, but it's not an application. So anyway, 1, 2, no longer used. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 applications. 3 of them used to be desktop applications. I've converted them to Blazor since then. But 10 web applications now that I support and I continue improving. And then a few that are no longer used, and then a bunch of support projects and repos. And all of our databases I put inside of here. So there are a lot of databases, just to show you some of them. So these are all of the databases used by the various programs. Some of the applications access more than one database. Some of these databases are specific to one program. And so I'm also maintaining the databases. I'm maintaining the AWS servers. I'm pretty much doing it all, and I'm having a blast with it. It's a lot of work though. But anyway, the way that I am making money is when I sit down to do work, I start my timer in the accounting software that we have. When I stop working, I pause my timer. Unless it's the end of the day, then I fill in the information about what I did throughout the day, pick the project, stop the timer, and that's how my time gets logged for the day. And then at the end of the month, or beginning of the next month, I bill them based off of my work log, send them my work log, and then they pay me. And that's how I make money. Hope that answered your question. Software says, I had a couple transitioned from 6 to 8 that went fairly well, but the deployment GitHub actions started to fail completely as it said. Wait, what did I miss? I missed a whole bunch of what he said. Thinking of starting to work 2 hours early and do streaming. Oh, in the middle, 2024, the year of change. I don't know what this one was in reference to, but I'll read it and see if I can figure out what he's talking about. Software said, I had a couple transitioned from 6 to 8 that went fairly well, but the deployment GitHub actions started to fail completely as it had Sonar Cloud. Oh, about upgrading to 6 to 8. You've updated a couple projects from 6 to 8, and that went fairly well, but then the GitHub action started to fail completely as it had Sonar Cloud in the middle, expecting net 6. So I had to rewrite Sonar Cloud scripts as well, and that took more time. Yes. Okay. So that was the other thing that I completely forgot about. And so I'm showing you this version of the app right here, but I do have another branch where I'm already doing the .NET 8 upgrade for this application in particular. And in fact, I did all of the code changes already. I started from a brand new .NET 8 Blazor web app template and just moved the code over, cleaned up all of my nullability stuff, because this started off as a MVC application using .NET Framework 4.7.2. Actually, it started off as a Java application, a JSP application, and then I ported that over to .NET Framework 4.7.2 MVC, and then from there, when Blazor came out in 2018, I ported it to Blazor and .NET Core 3, and then upgraded it to .NET 5 and now .NET 6, and so I didn't have nullability turned on, and because of how much code there is to this, I still don't have nullability turned on. But in my remake of it, the .NET 8 remake, I'm like, I really want nullability turned on, and I'm proud enough about this. Thank you so much for the follow, Ocelot. I will show this. Pride will get me in trouble, I know. Open a project. Oh, you know what? Let's open it with... Let's close you. Open a project. And how many of you actually do this? I have 2 folders for my projects. Folder 1 is the primary thing that I'm working on, and then folder 2 is if I work on anything on the side where I've made major changes to like the project structure. So if we look at RMA Water in my current effort, I have this RMA Water Net 8 solution, which points to this Net 8 folder, which has all of the remake code. But in my, like right now, I'm in the middle of adding a feature to the application, but it's not going to be, the .NET 8 remake is not going to be ready by the time I finish this feature. So I have another copy of the organization or the repos, and that one has a completely different folder structure. Interesting. I'm in the right branch. I have no idea why I have .NET 8 stuff in here, unless it's counting those as changes. I'm very confused. RMA get user fix, RMA water web. Yeah. Anyway, I wasn't expecting to see my folders actually have the other stuff in here, but point is I have 2 copies of the same repo so that I can make changes without needing to change branches. Is that a terrible idea? I think so. But anyway, let me show what I was actually proud of then in my with that repo. RMA water. Mirror. Okay. Have you ever seen this happen to an application when you compile it? Which is absolutely nothing. That's happened multiple times to me. Thank you for asking. CD, Army Water, Net 8, Army Water Blazor, Army Water Blazor. Okay. Keep your eye on the colors that show up in console. No. Hold on. That was a lie. Cool. Like I said, keep your eye on the colors that show up in console. Starting from here. Watch it not even restore. What? Why are you still saying Duende? It's probably not committed. Nobody breathe. This is another issue that I have, which is I work on 2 separate computers. And so if I don't have the code pushed to the actual repo on one of the computers, then I don't get the fixes and the changes and the updates and stuff. Dev spaces, anyone? Okay. Please, oh please, stop proving me wrong. It's looking good so far. Now I'm sweating. No. Oh, this must be work that I'm currently doing. Well, dang it. The last time that I ran this application using .NET Watch, I had 0 colors. It was all just regular output. No red, no yellow, and I've never seen that in any of the applications that I have worked on myself. I tend to have a lot of unused code. I have a whole bunch of warnings from just various things. And this application, as big as it is, just has 0. Except for, like, right now it has 2. Which is still really small. So, and in fact, if I wanted to be cheeky, and I do, removed unused well history component. Commit and push. Control C. And I'm still going to get these 2 on this computer because the browser is taking too long to load. How dare. Okay. Pushed. All right, Dukasoft says, I fixed my VPN issue. Turns out the gateway needs to point to the ISP. Ops. Hello said, I'm thinking to write my computer science engineering college and start learning at home. You can definitely do that. The university experience, like physically going to a school and classrooms and lectures and all that stuff, it really did teach me how to persevere. How to do the things that I don't like to do and still do them because they are requirements for whatever my ultimate goal is. I didn't really learn how to do software development at university. Okay, what do you say? So, where's our next .NET watch? Okay, here's our next .NET watch. And if you look here, all the way until the, oh, even when the application loaded. Look at that. No yellow at all. Yeah. Wait, what is... I totally read that wrong. I thought you were talking about tutorials, but I believe you're speaking French? And I don't know French. Is that French? Or is that Portuguese? Or what language is that? Is that even a language? Anyway, please let me know what the words are that you are saying to me so that I can understand. Did I read everyone's messages? Okay. But yeah, you're saying that 6 is no longer LTS, and I thought 6 did go out of LTS a lot more recently. But apparently it's going to stay LTS until .NET 8 release in November. Sorry, .NET 8 was released last November. .NET 9 release in November. Is what I meant to say. I don't know. I don't know words. You guys have to forgive me for not being able to speak anymore. I've lost the ability to speak. Let's just get back to UI design and make things work, make things pretty. We can do it. I know we can. So I'm not going to nitpick too much on this button not really sticking out much anymore. I don't like the outline on it. So I'm going to leave the outline off. I'll have to come up with a better way. Right. I have to come up with a better way to make it. Hang it. Make it stick out more. Yeah, I still think the text content is too far apart. So when we are at full zoom, yeah, I think it'll be fine at full zoom. So we'll leave it at that. Once we update the actual application UI here, it'll look better for this specific page. But I think I'm gonna call that good for the hero section. And again, I really want to see what this looks like if I were to browse to this as a page. And I think the only way I can do that is to make a prototype of it. Maybe. I haven't gotten into prototypes at all yet, so I don't know how to use it. But if I had like a preview component or something, I really don't know how to use prototypes. Oh, wait. I think I know a thing. I could be completely wrong. I'm going to put this up here in app screens, and what happens when I push play? Preview. Okay. Nothing. Nothing happens when I push play. Welcome to dev mode. I should probably read that. Yeah, nothing. I totally thought that it goes into like full screen mode as if you were looking at the app directly, but night. Okay, well, I'm leaving it at that. We're calling this our landing page, or our hero section of our landing page. Now we need to move on to the next part of our landing page, which is what? The first section in our landing page, which is going to be the information about what is a problem that this application solves. So one of the things that this application is intended to help you with is tracking your financial transactions, knowing what you're spending money on, knowing how much money you're saving, and knowing how money is moving between your accounts. So the way that I'm doing that is using these specific features. Oops. Does this really go in the landing page section? I mean, yes, and so like the actual content itself should get its own section. No, hopefully it's in. Softest and Software said money is only moving in one direction in my case. Hopefully it's just because you haven't been spending any money on anything. Okay. So all I did here was I stole from my original design the content in this track transactions. I'm happy with the content itself, except for these placeholder images. So we're going to fill in those placeholder images now too, as well. Also, with my new job, it improved. Awesome. What is your new job? If you feel like sharing, of course. You said you're in the middle of your workday, so definitely don't feel like you have to respond. I don't like doing that to people. I need this to use our application colors. So one of our application colors would be this D9, 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 which would be the text color, which for us is primary text. And that way, again, when I switch to light or dark mode, the primary text color. Really? So the font was actually primary text color. That's fun. Let's switch you to primary text, please. And then you are going to be background. Okay, so what'll happen now is if I switch color themes, or color modes is what these are called, then you'll see that the content inside of the container all update to use the right variable colors. Oh, you didn't know? So I've been on your stream and I do semi-listen. You do happen to stream at the same time as TBD Gamer. Sometimes your times overlap. So I'm not always able to hear, but I did not know that you quit your job with Deloitte to work for Macabus.com. Awesome. And you were with Deloitte for 28 years? Wow. Well, congratulations on your job change. I really, really, really hope it's going well for you. I think everyone should be able to pursue their dreams and goals and careers and have that opportunity afforded them. And it kind of sounds like you're going in a different direction than you were before. And hopefully it's a positive direction for you. Okay, what do we want to use to represent deposits? The thing that I used before was this piggy bank graphic that I created. So first thing I'm going to do is grab this graphic, detach instance, take the object over to our new this thing and paste it in here somewhere as a graphic. And so I'm really wondering whether this is something that I want to use or not. We're going to take a look at it in context. Oops. I moved from being a developer manager, managing people, back to what I do on my live streams. That is absolutely awesome to hear. Oh man, that has to be a relief. Like, I feel relieved just reading it. I am really glad to hear that you are able to do wait, what? To do software development again. Love it. So much more energy. That is so cool to hear. I am really glad for you. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it over and over, but that is a really good story. I like hearing that. Okay, how am I actually going to get this inside of my landing page? Because all of my landing pages are sized to be what it looks like when you first get to the page. So I think what I really need is a landing page content component, which is going to be this entire thing, pretty much. So let's do that, actually. Maybe, probably. Let's turn this into a component. We'll call it landing page contents. We'll take this component and replace you. So if you didn't see what I just did, right now, if you look at this, you'll see that contents is just a frame that has auto layout applied to it. But I copied this one here, which is the component. I selected that frame and then I Control-Shift-R'd, which is the same as paste to replace. And so now it is an instance of this component. So whenever I make changes to this component up here, which I can't make changes to the inner part of the component, so it's really hard to make changes when I'm using auto layout for everything. But as I make changes to the component, you can see it updating everywhere that the component is used. So anyway, I needed that one. I need this one as well. To shrink you to fit. Just be nice. Something's got to work. Height 1080 and put you in the middle. Thank you. And then your left and right goes about here. Right, and then the other thing that I'm going to need, because we can make this window smaller, is the ability to make the image, the graphic here, grow and shrink as well, based off of the width. So we'll need to set that up eventually. Okay, until then, here's our landing page contents, and every single one of these landing page components has clip content. So when I tell, oh geez, when I tell my hero section to be a fixed height, oh dear, that's gonna be fun. When I tell my hero section to be a fixed height and I expand the height of my landing page contents, you're a fixed height. Why are you snapping bot? Because you're a center. Oh, geez. And then I fix it to the top center. Then as I change this height, why are you changing both height now? Okay, one thing at a time. Hero is stuck to top middle. Header should also be top middle. And when I change the size of my page, why are you getting taller? No, you're just sticking to the middle for whatever reason. Even though I said align top. Because this is auto layout and it has everything centered. Okay. Get rid of auto layout for now. Yeah, there we go. Okay, got it. Hello, Disco. Happy Wednesday to you. Okay, so hero section done. Our next section was the track transactions section. So I'm going to put that inside of here as well. I am going to make it as wide as its container. And I'm going to tell it to fix top, left, and right so that as I change the container size, then it also changes size. So I'm going to need that on you too. Why aren't you doing that? What I'm probably no, I'm not. Just kidding. Holy cow. Stop making my phone buzz. Okay, so we have one picture for you. Payments. Well, I think I created a graphic for as well. I'm not a fan of it. This is where I got my pig inspiration. But yeah, if you couldn't tell, this pig here, the actual graphic from it, is actually made in Figma. So I created a bunch of shapes, I grouped them together, and then turned them into the pig. So that was a lot of fun. I got to feel like an artist for a half second until I saw it, and then I'm like, what is this garbage? Transactions. So I'm pretty sure that I had a left and right arrow that I was going to use as my transactions image. Right, I definitely need to bring this over. Where do you belong? You belong in icons and logos. Where are the rest of them? Aren't you just an instance? You take me to the main component. Go to main component. Where is that button? Wait, what? Excuse me. Why aren't you a You are. Okay. Replace. Okay, there we are. TBD Gamer is back. Why do software development right when you can do it wrong? And dedicate the highest paid developers you have chasing spikes in Datadog all day instead of fixing problems. And you, sir, are allowed to vent. This is a place where you're allowed to complain about crappy processes and experiences that you've had. I would prefer it if you didn't direct it at people, but it's a safe space for you to be like, I really don't like this thing that's happening. This is a space. This is a space that you get to be real. There are a lot of people that say only be positive, and I'm like, that's not really the message that I want to spread. Be real with yourself, just be real. Why am I going to a different tab again? I'm trying to stay here. You have things going on that you don't like, you can talk about them. No judgment. And he's taken me up on my offer. Yeah, you can be negative in a positive way. Our boss directed us yesterday to work on production issues that come up, jump on calls with other members and stay on calls until it's fixed, even if that is an 11-hour call. Good grief. And he thinks this is a great career opportunity. I am sorry that this is happening to you. I understand your frustration, and I hope it does get better. That's Bowspit. That's not what developers times is for. I mean, like for me, yeah, soft isn't software is saying the thing that probably is the most common thought of thing. For me, if I have accepted to do a job, then like I put myself in a place where I have the responsibility to say, hey, project manager, are you sure you want to use me for this as opposed to implementing features, getting actual bug fixes done, pretty much doing my job? Or is this really what you want me spending my time on? And after voicing that I don't think that this is the thing that is best done with my time, if they still say, I want you to do that, then I'll do it, because I will be doing my job at that point in time. But I would most likely find somewhere else to work if it kept happening, because that's not the type of work that I want to do. And that's kind of what happened. And that's why I'm now working for me. Anybody got suggestions for finding .NET jobs? Monster, Indeed, and even LinkedIn have updated details. The answer is yes. While I've been streaming today, the reason my phone keeps buzzing is I've gotten 3. Actually, you know what? If you are serious, I can refer you to a couple of these positions, but I've gotten 3 contacts from different recruiters about positions that are this one's hybrid. This one is hybrid. It's fully remote, but they would like for the incumbent to go into the office twice. And this one is... Wait, is that the same person? No, that's someone else. Same company. I got contacted by 2 different recruiters for the same company. What are you? This one doesn't have details about whether it's fully remote or not. And then on Monday, oops, I can't tell you about Monday because I accidentally went back too far and I don't know how to get back to that page. How do I get back to my messages? Is it this? Yes, it is this. On Monday, here's a .NET full stack engineer in Inglewood, Colorado. Kind of looks like it's on site. And yeah. This just in, for those of you Myst fans out there, I'm being bit gamey now. He has a automatic newsworthy updates thing that comes up. No way. Okay, so if you didn't know, Cyan, the makers, yes, TBD Gamer knows where I'm going. I just got this email like a minute ago, and they have a release date. And the release date is June 25th. So Cyan, the makers of Myst, have been doing a lot of remakes lately, and they've already remade Myst, the original Myst, for a new Myst. Well, new Myst has already been made, and it's out. You can get it on Steam. But Riven, which is, I don't know what order they came out in. It might have come out. Someone's gonna have to help me with this. It might have come out after Myst 3. But anyway, point is, Riven, they are remaking that, and they just announced that it's coming out on the 25th. So I won't be streaming. No, I'm kidding. I really do love the Myst games. And Riven is one of the best Cyan games ever made. So I'm excited about that. Anyone that does tabletop games, there is a new tabletop game if you're interested in it. Yeah, it looks really good. I'm glad there's at least one person out there that's as excited. It's so cool. Just real quick, what is the name of the site? Not Game Geek. Game Found. Good grief, that was really hard to think of. There is a new game by this company, Awaken Realms, which is it instantly became my favorite tabletop game company. A new game coming out called Lands of Evershade, where they took all of the things that they learned from their previous tabletop games and took all the best parts of it and stuffed it into one new tabletop game. And it's called Lands of Evershade. So if you are into adventure, roleplay, tabletop games, take a look at this game, see if it's something you're interested in supporting. And they have always delivered. So right now my wife and I are playing a game called Etherfields, which is also by them. And this one is more of a dungeon crawler, where you play on this big world map, you move around, and then you go into these scenarios, and you do stuff in those scenarios, and you have fun with that. And the reason that I'm advertising these is not because I am sponsored, although I wouldn't mind being sponsored by them, but I truly love their games. Yeah, so anyway, just mentioning it, see if it's something that you're interested in. But if you actually are into some more deeper in-depth story, definitely check out Tainted Grail. They have 4 expansions, something like that. I don't know if it's something that you can currently buy. The pledge has been closed for a really long time, but I have seen some copies of the core game for sale at like Walmart and stuff. But yeah, it's a fantastic game. Great story, replayability, cooperative. It's not competitive, so you can play solo, you can play with other people. just a lot of fun. Anyway, Juan Vaughn said, how I got my first job at mortgage company. Oh, you have any .NET groups to join in your area? And TVD said, nothing close. You have ours. So if you are okay with working with a consulting agency, like I said, my experience with Sagetti was not expected. There were things that happened that I didn't expect to happen, but I kind of expected to happen because I was warned about them. But that doesn't mean that it's a bad experience for everyone. It was just not one that I was very into. But if you are like, I've already heard all the things you've said, TBD gamers, so I doubt that you are this type of person. But if you are interested in being proactive about making moves in your career, then Sagetti is a good place because they have so many clients. You can move between projects. If you feel like you've been on one for too long, there are plenty of opportunities for upskilling. They have a lot of encouragement over getting certifications, learning new technologies, working in new things, and a lot of resources for that too. They're partnered with NVIDIA, partnered with Unity, training programs through them for all of that, on the bleeding edge of technology kind of stuff. But it wasn't for me. Microsoft partner too. Yep. Again, plenty of opportunities. And if you are the type of person that is up for challenges, and yeah. Dukasoft said a million years ago that I completely missed. I'll do stuff wrong until I learn better. Sadly, the coworker that can teach me not to do dev stuff wrong is myself. We could be coworkers, Dukasoft. I mean, not like employed by the same self, but we could still be coworkers. Soften Software said, always at the big conferences. Oh, so Jetty is? I didn't know that they were. It's an enterprise corp, so you must fit that. Lots of resources, but also lots of rules. I wouldn't really say it's lots of rules, just a lot of underhanded, not expectations that are actually expectations, where if you don't participate in this thing, you might be viewed negatively and treated a little bit differently than you want to be treated because you're not interested in doing the extracurricular things. You just want to do your job and do it well and have the opportunity to work with big clients and do software dev. But you have interviews for college grads and you have pursuits for gaining new clients. It's like, my goodness. No. I want to focus on doing the software development part, please. And thank you. So anyway, I'm going to go to this scene, but I will continue reading the rest of chat to make sure I get all of it. Juan Van says, that was such a scam in the 90s for smaller companies. The what? Microsoft partner? Or 6K for VB updates? Or like freelancing type opportunities? Even if it's not remote, you may want to discuss. Often they have, they revert from that demand. So one of those Softism software, the first one that I mentioned on there, I did respond to them and I'm like, I appreciate it, but I just recently separated from another consulting firm to be self-employed. And they sent me a message back and they're like, and I'm working 100% remote. They sent me a message back and they're like, the client is actually willing to go back on the needing to come into the site 3 days a week to being fully remote and only coming in 1 to 2 times a month. And that's still too much for me. So, but I'm very happy with the decisions that I made and working this position because these apps are so much fun. And I do plan on being able to use newer technology, do AI, keep up with the latest versions of .NET. It has an authentication system that I could mess with and poke around and learn new things with. And because now I am working through Automated Realms, I did get a partner subscription with Microsoft. So I have the Azure credits, I have Office 365 E3, I think, Teams, and all of the resources that I need in order to be able to do this development and host it and just all this stuff, all the things. So I can use all the cool technologies and also work on enterprise grade products, even though it's only used by like 10 people. No worries, TBD Gamer. Sorry to come in, derail the end of your stream with my gripes. I'm starting to think I need to become cloud aware fast. That will help with the hunt. Lots of places seem to require. This is true. Maybe something that could benefit you that will help you skill up is for the current state of liquid sky, or even water drink water. Actually, water drink water would probably be the easiest to start with. Create a small app service in your Azure tenant. Sign up for Azure for free if you don't already have your own tenant, blah, 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 and deploy it. Deploy water drink water to Azure and go through the headaches of that, but do it on stream if you can. That way it doesn't feel like, you are taking time away from something you would rather be, or taking time away from work, I guess, or adding extra time to your day trying to learn it in the evenings. Yeah, definitely. But I am going to get back to billable hours. I'm not really in a rush because I could just tag on an extra 5 minutes at the end of my day, but you know me, I'm gonna just hop on over back to work, and I'll be hanging about on people's streams. Speaking of people's streams, this is crazy that she's still going, and I don't know if she's gonna end soon, but I've been lurking on her stream all day, almost literally, but TBD Gamer rated her earlier. Nope, she is raiding out. Just kidding. We're gonna raid over to we're gonna head over to someone that I haven't actually rated in a million billion years because they only recently started streaming again. But we're gonna raid InstaFluff. And let me hop on into his chat. Okay, so everything should be ready to go. We're gonna head over to InstaFluff, who is just a great person. If you're not into game dev, stick around anyway. He is an amazing, wonderful people person, just great to hang out with. InstaFluff, I was thinking about them last week and then saw the stream the other day. Yeah, so we're gonna head over to him. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you guys enjoy. I will be back on Friday for Community Day, which is a day when I invite you guys onto a voice channel in Discord or just in chat, however you feel like communicating, but we'll focus on whatever topics you want to talk about. And yeah, just have a extra fun day on Friday. So until then, I'll be around, like I said, on other people's streams. Feel free to catch us on Discord. I will also post the VOD for this to YouTube no sooner than 24 hours. At some time between now and the next stream. Okay, ciao.